everyone, I'm Dan Philgreen, and this is Shell Point Today for Monday, November 10th. On today's show, the anticipation is sky high as Shell Point gets ready to celebrate the new season with Fantasy of Flight. Mary Franklin will be along to tell you all about it. And Terry Kolath is here to talk about 2 new Academy classes set to get underway tomorrow. But first, you're invited to learn more about assisted living while enjoying a light breakfast at the Arbor. The informative presentation will provide you with a better understanding of the difference between independent living, assisted living, and skilled nursing care. The Assisted Living Tea and Tour takes place tomorrow at the Arbor in the Woodlands. It starts at 10 a.m. and sign-ups are required. Also tomorrow, as the country honors those who have served in the military, Shell Point says thank you as well. Guest speakers, music, a prayer of blessing, and a patriotic salute to all that have served will all be part of the special Veterans Day event. It all gets underway at 10:15 tomorrow in the amphitheater on the island. And just a reminder to all those who've signed up, the 11th annual Shell Point Charity Golf Tournament is this Friday, November 14th. Lots of fabulous prizes will be given out, and breakfast and lunch will also be served to those who are participating. The fun begins with breakfast at 7:30 a.m. and a shotgun start at 8 o'clock at the Shell Point Golf Club. And due to overwhelming interest, the tournament is full. For many people, a computer means freedom, the ability to explore the world. But understanding how to use a computer may be sometimes a little tricky. Well, now the Computer College at Shell Point is offering a 3-session class to help you get more comfortable with using your computer. Terry Kolath has more on Understanding Your Computer, Level 1.
Hello everyone, I'm here today speaking with Paul Neighbors of Rosemont. We're talking about a computer college course that Paul is going to teach us, and it's Understanding Your Computer. Thank you for joining me, Paul.
Thank you.
Understanding your computer. Now, we know from your Coffee with the Neighbor that you were involved with the development of the computer technology. What do we need to understand about our own computer?
There are a lot of things that you can understand. Most of them, there are other instructors in the classes that teach you all about what a computer can do for you. There's a class on almost anything that you want to use. The thing that I usually concentrate on is more what the computer can do to you. Things that happen that you don't want to happen, things that are under the cover and that have more to do with the architecture, the standards, and things of that kind that I've spent many years working with, that hopefully can help you when the computer stops or you lose something that you're working with and you're trying to recover something, can give you an idea how to work through things under the covers and find some place to recover whatever it is that you were working on.
And that's got to be one of the most frustrating things.
It is. Everyone has a problem with that sort of thing. I have a problem with it myself, but at least myself, when I find something that gets lost like that, I can usually go in and somewhere down on the bottom of that, I'll find my footprint somewhere and find a way to work through to figure out where it is that got lost and get it back into place.
So you're going to share that with pretty much novices to the computer.
It doesn't really make much difference whether you're an expert or a novice. Most people still can use a little help in figuring out how to do things that were not intended and that nobody else teaches. So I'll try to tailor the class for the specific people that are in there and work with people that have individual problems and find a way to help them take care of the kind of things that they are running into.
Interesting. Now we're going to have 3 sessions, an hour and a half each session, so that does give you a good amount of time to, and don't we learn from each other's problems oftentimes?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the thing I try to do, is to get people to bring out their problems. We work through their problems in the class, and then everyone else will learn from that, and sometimes they'll bring up questions related to it. And so we'll just try to work through each class. Each time I've taught that class, it's been very different because the students in it are different and they have different needs.
Yeah. And this is very helpful for us as a computer college to have someone like you right on the front lines, finding out what kinds of problems do people encounter so that we can start addressing more of them into the future with our classes. Very, very nice. So you will be meeting with people every Tuesday. Okay, bring your problems. First, you can sign up, Understanding Your Computer. It's a small class, but right now we do have some room. Bring your problems to Understanding Your Computer, and your neighbor, Paul Neighbors of Rosemont, will help you. On every Tuesday beginning November 11th, the doctor is in.
Thank you, Terry and Paul. We are exactly 7 days away from the takeoff of Shell Point's Community Event Week, Fantasy of Flight. With plenty of programs, speakers, and just plain fun, this is something you don't want to miss. And here's your captain for the week-long festivities, Mary Franklin.
The Resident Life Team is proud to present the 2014 signature event, Fantasy of Flight. The community-wide event will be a great way to come together as a community, to be entertained, to learn, to compete, and to celebrate Shell Point. Join your friends and neighbors for the week of Fantasy of Flight. The week kicks off with an outdoor celebration on Monday, November 17th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. around the Island Pond. Get up close and personal with a hot air balloon and be entertained with high-flying juggling, bubble blowers, and airbrush artists. You'll want to head out to the island beach where you will be amazed by the windsurfers, kiteboarders, and even a special surprise. The Wizard of Whistling will entertain everyone with his whistling virtuoso. There will be snacks and drinks stations set out throughout the event. This is certainly going to be an uplifting event to kick off the week. Fly to new volunteering heights as you discover uplifting ways to contribute your time and talents outside of Shell Point. An aerial view of volunteering in Southwest Florida will be an uplifting event in the Resident Activity Center and outside in the administration courtyard. 25 booths will be set up on Tuesday, November 17th from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. with representatives from various organizations such as Lee Memorial Health Systems, Lee County Schools, Alliance for the Arts, and the Humane Society of Fort Myers. Lee County Parks and Recreation will also be there. Make sure to discover an opportunity to elevate your volunteer goals with giveaways, light refreshments, and knowledgeable representatives. You will have an opportunity to give of your time and talents. Back from a conference from the Mosquito Control Association, T. Wayne Gale, Executive Director of Lee County Mosquito Control District, will discuss up-to-the-minute information about the two latest diseases we're currently worried about, the West Nile virus and the chikungunya fever. The Academy of Lifelong Learning course will take place on Tuesday, November 18th at 2 p.m. in the Grand Cypress Room. Sign-up is required. Maybe you've heard on WGCU, I'm Jerry Jackson with the Wild Things. Dr. Jerry Jackson is a WGCU broadcaster, an FGCU professor, and a lecturer, and he will be discussing one of the birds common to our area. We are delighted in this presentation. You'll have an hour and a half to hear about our birds from this eminent authority. The Academy is hosting the Fantasy of Flight presentation, The Birds of Southwest Florida, on Wednesday morning in the Grand Cypress Room at 10 a.m. Don't forget to sign up at either service desk. Aviation in Southwest Florida has evolved into quite an industry over the last 60 years. Taking flight in Southwest Florida, Behind the Scenes Tour International Airport will foster your curiosity and answer some of the questions you may have about modern air transportation. The group will attend a classroom-style presentation focusing on the airport history and social and economic benefits and impact on our region. Subject to availability, the Airport Police Department K-9 unit and Transportation Security Administration will join us in the classroom. Lunch will be at the Olive Garden afterwards. Court pickup starts at 8 a.m., so make sure you sign up for this event that takes place on Wednesday, November 19th. The Fantasy of Flight Day continues with an evening with light-hearted entertainment at the Village Church at 7:15. This staff will be sharing their personal, hilarious travel adventures. To illustrate their experiences, you will enjoy seeing some of the most memorable escapades from TV shows with Carol Burnett, Tim Conway, Bob Newhart, and others. Come aboard Flight TVC 715. You'll be glad you did. The Fantasy of Flight Week would not be complete without some friendly competition. On Thursday morning in the church, individuals, courts, or groups of residents are challenged to design and create your own airplanes. You will actually be flying them off the second floor balcony. So start designing your planes now. You must sign up because at 9:45 Thursday, second floor of the church, remember, you're going to fly your airplane. Awards will be given to the most creative plane, the best plane name, and the plane that goes the furthest. Sign up at either service desk today and start building your plane. The week-long celebration wraps up with a virtual visit to the last frontier. Dr. Wei-Ping Yu, a senior scientist and physicist at NASA Kennedy Space Center in Florida since 2002, will be presenting Unlocking the Mysteries of the Universe on Friday, November 21st at 1:15 p.m. in the church auditorium. He is a member of the American Physical Society and also a member to the American Astronautics and American Society of Mechanical Engineers. He is a frequent speaker at the Kennedy Space Center and at various events sponsored by NASA. Shell Point is honored to host such an acclaimed speaker right here on property. For more information about Fantasy of Flight activities taking place at the Arbor, Kings Crown, and the Springs, please refer to each building's newsletters. I'm Mary Franklin, and I am taking off and looking forward to seeing you at the Fantasy of Flight. Clear prop!
As we honor our veterans tomorrow, military robots and the future of war will be addressed in the latest offering from the Academy, Beautiful Science 12. Employee chaplain Don Steenhoek will present the class, which will take a look at author Peter Warren Singer's latest book, Wired for War. Don recently sat down with Terry Kolath to discuss the upcoming class.
Hello, I'm Terry Kolath, and I'm here today with Pastor Don Steenhoek, who is also very interested in science, and we're delighted because every semester he brings us beautiful science, and we're up to number 12 this semester. Thanks for joining me, Don.
It's a pleasure to be here, Terry.
Every semester it's wonderful how you focus on some aspect of science and just help us to explore it visually and with your coaching. Now this time Peter Warren Singer is going to be where we start, the director of 21st Century Defense Initiative at Brookings Institute. I just want to start with his latest book. This is from your course description, Wired for War, examines how the U.S. military has been, in the words of a recent U.S. Navy recruiting ad, working hard to get soldiers off the front lines. Now that's fascinating. This is going to be on Veterans Day, and we're talking about robots.
Well, we've got 5,200 robots right now in Afghanistan. And that means that In today's technology, we've got 5,200 controllers who are at a screen with a joystick who are controlling the robot. The good news is that with the different roadside bombs and things like that we need to defuse, we're no longer putting flesh and blood in harm's way, but robotically we're going to the site and examining it and taking the bomb apart. And what used to be the most dangerous position in the Army has become a person sitting there looking at a screen, handling controls to disarm bombs.
Fabulous.
As we all know, we have drones in the air so that we can do surveillance. In fact, over Baghdad at one point in time, there were so many drones that Baghdad was the most crowded airspace in the world. Now, this represents a lot of problems on two different levels. First of all, trying to control it, as you can imagine. There were a lot of near misses, and there were unfortunately some that weren't so near misses. But again, the capability to get real-time surveillance and be able to see the enemy when they're behind buildings or even if they're in buildings, because we can see with infrared, is invaluable to the troops on the ground. We're at the beginning of this. We need to understand this. There's a quote that says that when a new technology is introduced, we always overestimate its initial contribution and underestimate its long-term effect. On the home front in the war of terror, we now have a technology that is able to do facial recognition at 200 feet, which means that in a place that might be vulnerable to attack, security cameras can be installed so that anyone who walks within 200 feet of a camera will go through the facial recognition process. And the known terrorists and those with a police record and all of that will be highlighted immediately.
Amazing.
It caused a controversy, but you know that police cars now have a scanner so that as they drive through the city, the license plates of the vehicles that they drive next to are automatically scanned into a central computer, and if the car is stolen or if the owner of the car is wanted for any reason, immediately the officer is notified. And there are those who see that as an invasion of our constitutional rights, and there are those who see that as good law enforcement. I think in 2015 or 16, Cadillac is going to produce a car and put it on the market that you can just drive into the left lane on the freeway, push some buttons, and you need not touch the wheel and you need not pay attention until you get to your destination. I can buy a robot today that will clean my house, that will remember where the dirtiest parts of my house is based upon the amount of dirt that they pick up, so that the robot will program itself to learn the traffic pattern of my home, where my dog tends to shed hair, and focus on those spots. All of that is happening even as we sit here today.
Well, we're going to be talking on Veterans Day.
Yes.
And isn't it lovely that we can offer our veterans a little bit of hope? How often can we do that?
For the sacrifice that they made, for the freedom that they provided, and for the future that lies ahead of us. It's an amazing time. And robots are going to be around us. They're going to do domestic tasks. They're going to give me a ticket when I speed. They're going to drive my car when I go to Orlando. And they're also going to be involved in protecting the country.
It's going to be an amazing future.
It is. It is.
Thank you for sharing it with us.
Well, again, congratulations to our veterans.
Absolutely. Hope you join us, veterans and everyone else, to look at this new technology with our own science leader here, Pastor John Steenhoek.
Now it's time to cover all of Monday's happenings, Academy News, menus, and Village Church connections. Right after this word from David Howenstein with a preview of his radio show on TV, Listening to the Words.
The theme of this week's Listening to the Words program is our veterans, their service, suffering, and survival. Ranging from the 15-year-old Civil War drummer boy who died on the fighting field to the secret operations Navy SEALs that have employed 17,000 men since World War II and now have a museum in Fort Pierce, Florida. From a Fort Myers man's return with his wife to his Nazi fighting air base in 1944 England, to the fearless men in their World War I flying machines. And from a man who walked out of the hospital calling out, "Go Navy," to a hopeful writer who foresees the end of fighting and inequalities. It's a way of honoring all our veterans on Listening to the Words. I'm your reader host, David Howenstein, reminding you to tune to Shell Point Channel 12 anytime, any day this week, and hear for yourself. The week's 30-minute program begins at the top and at the bottom of each hour. As always, thank you for listening to the words.
I'm Mary Franklin along with Bev Chanley, and we're here today to talk to you about Monday, November 10th's activities. But before we do, mark your calendar for tomorrow, November 11th. At 10:15, you want to be in the amphitheater for a Veterans Day salute. After the celebration, make sure to have an empty tummy so you can head over to the Crystal Dining Room for a Veterans Day lunch. But let's start with today. At 8 a.m., we have men's match play doubles tennis. Also at 8 to 5 today, the mobile mammography bus will be parked in front of the village church. Are you signed up for Beach Day? Well, if so, we're going to be picking you up at 8:30 on the island, 8:40 Woodlands, and 8:50 Eagles Preserve. Sign up is required. 8:45 virtual bowling will take place in the Resident Activity Center. And at 9:15 you can choose to play billiards in the Resident Activity Center or pottery down in the tunnel. 10 a.m. choices are men's match play doubles tennis or head out on the Suzy Q to lunch at Woody's. This is a sign-up required. 10:30, the Disciples Men's Study Group will be gathering in the game room at the Woodlands. And at 10:45, the game of table tennis will be played in the Tarpon Room, and this time it's a clinic for those who would like to sharpen their game. And at 11:30, we wrap up Monday morning with Health Connections Agility and Flexibility in the Health Club on the island, which is currently closed. Bev, what happens this afternoon?
Well, Mary, we're going to start at 12 o'clock with Mahjong. That's played in the Sable Room on Mondays. 1:15, we're going to have advanced table tennis. That'll be in the Tarpon Room down in the tunnel. Also at 1:15, we have Samba, the card game, in the Resident Activity Center. And Tone Chimes is in the Osprey Room, also at 1:15. From 1:30 to 3:30, you'll find the Model Train Room open for tours. Then we'll move to 1:45 for a Health Connections class. This is Balance and Mobility Training Level 1. That's in the Health Club and it's currently full. At 2 o'clock, the Beady-Eyed Bead Club will be in the Oak Room at the Woodlands. The Shell Point Singers will be having a rehearsal at the Village Church at 3:15. And 3:30, we have a Health Connections class, Aqua Agility and Conditioning. That's at the Life Quest Aquatic Center. We're going to skip to 6 o'clock now with the Health Connections class, Beginners Square Dancing. That'll be in the Health Club. It's currently full. At 6:30, we have Duplicate Bridge in the Game Room of the Woodlands. And then we have Square Dancing instruction at the Health Club at 7:30. Well, that wraps up our activities for today, and we will be back here again tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for Monday. At 10 o'clock, we have Life at Sea in the Age of the Sail, the third session in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. Sign-up is required. At 10:15, Talking is a New Typing dictation class continues in the Manatee Room on the island. And at 10:30, Appreciating Words will meet in the Oak Room of the Woodlands, and all are welcome. At 1:15, we have Windows 8 continuing in the Computer Teaching Center on the island. Also at 1:15, Russia Under the Tsars. Session 5 will take place in the Social Center on the island for those who have signed up. I'd like to share with you some new classes coming tomorrow. A computer college class, Understanding Your Computer, with Paul Neighbors of Rosemont. And Beautiful Science 12 with our own employee pastor and science geek, Don Steenhoek. A Technology Today and Tomorrow class, Security, Password Protection, Keychain, with Bruce Findlay of Sundial.
Menus for Monday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is a grilled ham steak with mashed sweet potato and cauliflower. The dinner special is Old Home Cooking Night for $11.95, and the soup of the day is Senate Bean. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Monday, the special is a mushroom Swiss burger with fries for $7.25. The dinner special is chopped sirloin with mashed potatoes and peas and carrots for $8.25. And the Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, Randy Woods. And as you know, we are well into the season here at Shell Point. I trust by now that you've gotten a copy of the brochure promoting the Season of Praise concert series here at the Village Church. And as we look into the season, we're mindful that the season begins here at the Village Church with our Christmas celebration. A Christmas celebration will be presented on Sunday evening, December 7th, here at the Village Church with our very special guest, Joel Rainey and Jane Holstein, along with the Festival Orchestra and the Village Church Choir. This is the first of our concerts in the Season of Praise concert series. As you've gotten the brochure, no doubt you've read about our artists, and we're especially pleased to begin with Joel Rainey and Jane Holstein. It was in the spring of 2009 that I worked with Joel to talk about writing a specific work for the Village Church Choir, and that work is called A Thrill of Hope. As we worked together back then, it was our privilege in December of 2009 to first present this work called A Thrill of Hope. Joel wrote this for our choir, and then Hope Publishing Company has since produced, published, and has marketed this internationally. It's been very rewarding for me as I've talked with various music directors around the country, and then one particularly in Turkey who called and said that they have also performed this work. This was a commissioned work by the Village Church with Joel Rainey, and it's going to be a delight for us to do it again this Christmas. The work is divided into 4 movements. The title, A Thrill of Hope, is the first movement, and then it continues with the gift of love, a prayer for peace, and a song of joy. There are 18 different Christmas carols, some familiar, some new, in this work. And with the orchestra, we'll be pleased to have Reiko join with us as the concert master. Reiko, as you know, is the principal violinist with the Southwest Florida Symphony. It's a delight to have her play. As the ensemble comes together, I trust that you'll get your tickets and plan to be a part of this first concert in the Season of Praise concert series. Sunday, December 7th at 6:15 p.m. here at the Village Church. Tickets are $10 and available at the church office. I trust that you will be a part of this celebration. Again, it's such a privilege to have Joel Rainey back with us and Jane Holstein at the organ. But as we celebrate the Christmas season, I trust that you will be a part of that as we together celebrate the thrill of hope that we find during the Christmas season in that babe of Bethlehem.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow as we honor our veterans and we travel around the world. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Monday, November 10th. I'm Dan Philgreen, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.